Hey, Gremlin Gear. Today I wanted to show a quick and easy way to help you guys find complicated things such as scopes and optics for your rifle. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back. I played around with this about a week ago, trying to actually figure out if I could get an AI chat box to throw some of the scopes that I have used on my rifle. So if you were someone who is in the market looking for a scope right now, I am sure you know that YouTube and the internet and websites are extremely oversaturated with content covering scopes. Not to mention that everybody's website's a little bit different, no matter if you go to like Midwest USA or Optics Planet, what you're looking at, where all the information is a little bit different. And with something like scopes, there is a ton of information to look through. And so if you're someone who's, you want to buy once, cry once on a scope, you really don't want to take a bunch of time to research the stuff yourself, I cannot tell you how much time I have spent researching scope selections for rifles before in the past, and it is just eating up so much time because I obviously don't want to have to go out and buy another one or get one and figure out I don't like it. And so YouTube's a good place. You can definitely learn about a lot of features on scopes if you don't know anything about them, but the biggest help to do something like this is literally using your favorite AI chat box. And it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to use Copilot for this demonstration, although I normally use something like ChatGPT, because if you have a Windows computer, chances are you have Copilot and it's right on your desktop already. So this is really cool. This is the icon for Copilot if you don't know. And this is a generative AI chat box. And so what I'm going to do is I have constructed a couple of prompts to prompt AI to help me find a couple scopes for a rifle. I picked a 16-inch AR, right? 16-inch 5.56 gun shooting OTM 77 grain. So I am looking for a scope that is going to optimize the maximum performance of this rifle. Now, if you didn't know, that 77 grain typically is going to maximize the overall performance of a rifle out to distances, you could obviously ask the AI chat box, hey, what ammunition should I be using for training? What ammunition should I be using for long range shooting, for shooting targets out the distance to optimize my accuracy? There's a lot of stuff that you can just automate the process of, and you don't have to go to YouTube anymore or any of these other forums or chat rooms to find all this information out about your gun or scopes. And so that is what I'm going to try to do, is have AI pick the scope for me. And now you can obviously change the prompts a little bit. Like, let's say you want a Trigicon or you want a Leupold. You can ask it, hey, what loopholes fit the category for this rifle that I'm looking for. I just don't want to go online and find them all. Or typically, most websites will not have every single possible listing for that type of scope, and you might miss out on something and figure it out later. So let's go right down here to our Google document, or this Word document that I have, and I have a couple of prompts that I'm just going to prompt this AI box with. So, what is the effective range of a 16-inch 5.56 rifle firing OTM 77 grain projectiles? I'm just going to go ahead and ask it, and let's see what happens. Now, I normally use ChatGPT, but okay. Generally, the effective range for reliable performance is around 250 to 300 yards. However, for hitting steel targets, general accuracy range can extend out to 600 yards or more. All right, so that generally checks out for a 5.56 gun. Velocity drops significantly, which can affect its ability to cause substantial damage. So now it's asking me something else, but what I want to do is ask it this next question, which is what magnification ranges on scopes would best optimize this range? I'm probably going to ask 600 yards specifically. And then my goal is to achieve exceptional target identification out to these maximum ranges. So best optimize this range of out to 600 yards. Okay. for exceptional target identification out to 600 yards. A scope with magnification from 12 to 18x is ideal and provides the most clarity for long-range shooting. If you're looking for versatility, to consider a variable scope like a 4 to 16 or a 6 to 24. Ooh, 6 to 24, that's kind of a lot. Definitely going to be looking into this 12 to 18 range. And for those of you who don't know, if you are looking for a scope for a rifle, there are a ton of magnification ranges, and that's probably one of the hardest decision to make is like, okay, what magnification range? Because essentially you're going to be getting, you know, all of the capability from your magnification. A 4 to 16x does a really good job. I'll go ahead and kind of answer this question for myself though. On my 16-inch, AR, I have a, what is it? It is a 2.5 to 12x. And I kind of wanted to optimize that like low power magnification with the scope. And I only have up to a 12x. I like this range because it's a little bit more than like what an LPVO has to offer, and I feel like honestly, if you're looking for an LPVO, you might as well go with a 2.5 to 12, just because, my opinion, LPVOs are not the same thing as red dots. And if you're going to have an LPVO, most people already run like a red dot and an LPVO, and I don't see the point in having a 1x if you're going to just use the red dot sight. Unless you plan on using something like thermal and night vision clip-ons, where then the like 30 millimeter tube objective lens on the end is very ideal because it aligns with stuff like night vision units and thermal units easier, unless you have some really expensive night vision unit that is for your objective lens size. So that's a really niche thing. I know a lot of people don't actually own those. I don't own one, right? Like I have a PVS 14, but I'm not strapping it to the front of my scope. But that is kind of my philosophy to my AR scope. Is I use a 2.5 to 12. That's the reason why I like having the low powers, and I think a 12x does a pretty good job. And I also like that the scope is a little bit lighter. So weight was a big deal to me, and that is something in my next prompt. So I'm going to kind of tailor this last prompt to the response that it gave me just a little bit. I'm going to specify the 12 to 18 range is what I want. So I'm looking for a scope that includes an illuminated reticle, and these are all just examples of things that you can put into your prompt. But I'm going to say, hey, I want an illuminated reticle. I know I want the reticle in MRADs. I want zero stop turrets, a 30 millimeter tube, because my scope mount is going to be for a 30 millimeter tube, let's say, in this hypothetical situation. And I want to spend between $1,000 and $1,800. I want the scope to be between 16 and 22 ounces, which I think anything above 24 ounces starts getting very heavy and starts changing the gun. And so let's talk about this rifle, this hypothetical rifle, for just a second. This is likely going to be like a fighting gun, right? Like I'm going to probably be like wielding it from my arms and shooting it. And anything past that weight can really just bog down the overall feel to the rifle, right? So if you're using something like a 308, or maybe this gun has a bipod on it, or maybe you're using a bolt action gun with a bipod on it, right? This heavier scope starts to not matter so much because you're not wielding, your 11-pound bolt action rifle with your 32-ounce scope on it from your arms and taking shots like that. You're laying down with it. So the weight doesn't necessarily matter as much for that reason. That's the reason that I'm a little bit concerned about weight here, is for the type of rifle that we are trying to build out. This is going to be like a fighting gun. I will probably be carrying it around, running with it. I have to remember the weight of my scope, but it's a Trijicon. I don't know if I said that. 2.5 to 12x. I want to say it's like maybe the Credo scope. I might link to it in the description just so you can see. But help me find 6 scopes that fit this profile from reputable brands and offer exceptional glass quality. So let's see. I want to say, help me find 6 scopes that fit this. I'm going to say criteria. Oh yeah, my bad. Fit this criteria and are in the 12 to 18x ranges. Okay, help me find 6 scopes that fit this criteria in the 12 to 18x ranges that are from reputable brands and offer exceptional glass quality. Let's see what we get. Oh, wow. No, wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on a second. Arkin came up for all 3 of them? Hang on a second. Okay, this is kind of why I like using ChatGPT. I'm going to do the same thing, but with the ChatGPT model. No way, it just gave, wait a second, it just gave me 3 scopes. It didn't give me 6. Okay, this is really goofy. All right, this is not going as planned, so I'm just going to use chat because that was super funny. I just got all 3 Arkin. What is up with that? That's crazy. I'm just going to copy and paste everything I just didn't hear about with ChatGPT. That's so weird. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I'm not saying anything bad about Arkin, but like, give me some diversity. Give me some choice. It didn't even give me 6 scopes. Give me some options. Like, and this is outside of the range that I specified. So maybe don't use Copilot, guys. I don't know. I don't normally use Copilot. So here we go. Because I like the way chat really just makes everything nice. So, okay. So, cool. It's giving me some more specific, it's actually defining what OTM means. It's giving me more specific criteria. So it's giving me specific muzzle velocity. And look at it. See, chat does a much better job, in my opinion. And it's giving me Sierra Match King ammo. Cool. So now we have some more specific information here. Maximum effective range with ideal optics and conditions, 800 yards. But effective range, lethal hits on a human target, 600 yards. Okay, so about the same answer. So we're having consistent answers here. So wind barrier, ideal setup, high quality optics, Kestrel. Okay, cool. So next prompt. Okay, getting some more specific information about glass quality and a bunch of different magnification ranges. So this is just kind of like an information dump. Okay, so this is cool though. Okay, so it's recommending a 10 to 15x, which I think is a bit more realistic and ideal than even like the 12 to 18x recommendation that Copilot was giving. This is just really goofy seeing the difference. Oh, and it's already suggesting some scopes here. That's sweet. The Vortex Razor, primary arms 3 to 18x, and it's giving some notes about each of them. The Credo, see, I have the lower magnification version, but the Trijicon, I think they offer great glass quality for the price that you pay for those scopes. So, my experience. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about Trijicon scopes, but I think they're really nice. So weight and size, okay. Aim for under 24 ounces if mobility matters. See, we're getting a lot more detailed. And see, so for DMR style rifle, so this is another thing. If you're going to be someone who's staying under the scope for a long time and you really need the scope for observation, yeah, going up to 25x is a good option. And then it's already asking me, okay, what am I looking for? Cool, thanks for asking. I'm going to ask you what I'm looking for. So here we go. And then hopefully it'll actually give me 6 scopes and not just say Arkin for all 3 answers. That was so weird. I feel like this video is sponsored by... We're not a sponsor. I don't own an Arkin. Let's see if Arkin does come up though. What is that? Is it a SIG? I hope it's not a SIG. Okay, the Leupold 3 to 18x. That's a little bit of an expensive scope. Yeah, right there at the $1,800 threshold. So the Credo, price a little bit lower, 4 to 16. I've never heard of them. So European glass. Okay, cool. Right there at $1,000. The Citron. Never heard of them either. Brownells. And then Arkin. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask it one more thing. Give me 5 scopes from, or let's see, with the same parameters, but I only want scopes from Leupold, Trijicon, let's see, Steiner, Vortex. Oh man, I'm probably missing your favorite scope brand right now, so just hang me for it in the comments. Let's think other scopes. Let's just send it. Come on. But look guys, this is a really easy way for the AI box, or the AI program, whichever one you're choosing, to do all the thinking for you and to show you some stuff and go ahead and link to the scopes for you. So it's kind of cool. Show some images, not super helpful. Loophole still coming out here. So, it probably says something about this loophole scope. It's probably recognizing that it has, best features all around, but for the highest price. And it does go from most expensive to least. Okay. The AccuPoints. Steiner. Okay, outside of our price range. Exceeds our specific weight and budget constraints. Okay. And also exceeding weight right up there. Sniper. Guys, honestly, I'm a little less impressed with this time than I was the first time that I tried this. However, this is a great starting point. So if you're shopping for a scope, like I said, this is a really great starting point if you're just trying to figure out what you should be looking for. Maybe you can start to YouTube some of these scopes and see what some people are saying about them. But honestly, the first time that I did this, I was getting much more specific results coming back. So I'm actually a little disappointed this time, but you can see, if you haven't thought about this, this is a really good idea to get in here and try to just figure out a lot of information about scopes you're looking at. For example, and you might actually be able to get, let's see, can you export all of the, what would you call this? Summary tables to a .csv. Let's see if this works. This would be really cool. So if it can, I'm pretty sure it will, export all the summary tables to a .csv file, I can go ahead and put this stuff in Excel and then filter by certain things. So if it's chugging out a bunch of information that doesn't necessarily meet my criteria, I can then go into Excel and then filter, put on filters by weight or by magnification or by price. So I might have 50 scopes in Excel, but then I can filter exactly what I want, and it might narrow it down to 5. So that would be really cool. I think it'll do it. So I just pulled it up in LibreOffice, which is a free office tool that is just like Excel, but it's free. So you can go download it, LibreOffice, LibreOfficeSuite.com, whatever it is. All right, so it looks like I can go up here to auto filter, drop down for magnification, and okay, I only want to see 4 to 16 scopes. And there you go. That's what I was talking about. So that's pretty cool. Then you can also do it by price and just keep adding filters. So I was a little more disappointed with this time than I was the first time, but I hope this information has been helpful to you. I am not going to be the YouTuber who tells you exactly what scope to buy or go on a 30-minute review about one. As long as you're buying a scope from a reputable brand, you're going to have a good quality optic. They're all made slightly differently. Yeah, some's going to have different turrets than the others, and different, they're going to have different reticles. But from my own personal experience, I would recommend a few things. Buy what you like. I would say get an illuminated reticle if you're going to get this for a fighting rifle. I would steer away from ballistic reticles, although you could use the AI to help you find only scopes with ballistic reticles. But figure out your own dope information and make out a personal dope card for your gun. All guns shoot a little differently, and ballistic reticles are not going to be on point ever with exactly with what you're shooting and your conditions. And get a simple reticle, and get one that you can understand. And if you're doing all the right things, you're training with it, and you're just getting time behind the gun, ultimately you're going to figure out what you do when you don't like, and you will understand how your gun shoots. But that's kind of the point of what we're doing here, is that probably chances are you don't have a lot of time to spend on the range, and you can't spend dozens of hours learning different scopes and figuring out what you do and you don't like really well. Let the machine do some of the thinking for you. But I hope you thought this idea was cool. I know I have spent so many hours looking for scopes in the past. I hope this can make the search for some of you guys easier. I don't know if anyone's thought about this yet. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.